Cardano is absolutely useless without smart contracts and dApps, you heard me. It's just as useless as glitter on a turd. Yeah, you heard that, Cardano fanboys. What, you want to fight me about it? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Michael T. Raglan, your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter, coming at you live. But go ahead and put the pitchforks down, fellow Cardano lovers. Don't trip. You know I'm a Cardano maximus myself. I love me some Charles and Ada, but I was keeping it real about how useless Cardano or any other blockchain is without smart contracts and dApps. It's just useless. You can't do much with them. But anyway, before we begin, let me drop this line on you again, my friend. I'm not a financial advisor. Anything that I say is strictly for entertainment and purposes only. Had to read that one just for my lawyer. Oh yeah, I'll say. Also, hashtag don't sue me, bro. But let's jump right into it, guys. Let's talk about smart contracts and dApps. First things first, what is a smart contract? A smart contract is an agreement between two people in the form of computer code. They run on the blockchain, so they are stored on a public database and cannot be changed. The transactions that happen in a smart contract are processed by the blockchain, which means that they can be sent automatically without a third party. So what does all that even mean, guys? I know you guys are probably looking like, yo, what is that? What does it mean? Guys, so what that actually means is that it's just like IFTT. If this, then that. When you're thinking about a smart contract, right? Super simple. We don't have to overcomplicate it. It's just a code or contract that runs on top of the blockchain. And just so you know, smart contracts have been around since 1990 Fizzo. And this is just a quote from my man, Nick Szabos. Such contracts are a pillar of a free market economy and can be useful in business, relationships, marriage, and politics. Was Nick Szabos the real Satoshi? We'll never know. This guy was like way before his time. Like he's saying about, I can't believe he was talking about smart contracts in 1994. It's crazy. You know, he's talking about they can be useful in business, relationships, marriage, and politics. But if we go back to that beginning slide, right? It's just an agreement, simple agreement, if this then that, to put out transactions on the blockchain. The most popular things right now are DeFi and decentralized exchanges, but there's so much more you can do on it. I just want to quickly show an example of what you can do with smart contracts. So let's just imagine that we got my boy over here, the two Chads, if you will, jumping in and trying to execute a smart contract. So all they're trying to do is trade a pair of super duper dope sneakers, right? And they're doing all this on the blockchain using a smart contract. So the dope thing about this is that it's actually gonna cut out the middleman. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sneaker fanatic and I like to sell stuff on StockX and GOAT and things like that. And I always have to pay all these fees to StockX or GOAT. Then I gotta pay, it's just ridiculous. I look at it, they charge me all these different taxes and all these crazy fees just to be that middle person or the broker. It's the same thing if you're trying to sell a house. You can basically cut out the brokers and everything in between, even the bank, if you use DeFi. But let's get back to an example with these sneakers between double chads here. So very simple. Let's say that I want to buy this pair of Air Jordan 1s using ETH. All I need to do is use the smart contracts that are built on top of the ETH blockchain using something like Uniswap to jump in, find Chad number 2's ETH wallet address, send that straight to him. He gets the money, he ships me the shoes, happy days, right? What's actually letting us do that is the smart contracts that are running Uniswap and any other app, DApp, I may use on Ethereum to transfer it across. It's the same exact thing that we can do if we're trying to sell a house. Like you can substitute this pair of shoes for anything on the blockchain, guys. Smart contracts, very simple. It allows us to cut out third parties, if this then that. So if Chad number 2 sends the ETH, Chad number 1 sends the sneakers. That easy, right? It executes all that directly on the smart contract. The smart contract can withhold the payments until the funds actually arrive in the first Chad's wallet. That can all happen without intermediaries, without a StockX, without anybody in between. That's the power of smart contracts, guys. What else do we got on here? So let's jump over real quick and let's talk about dApps. So we talked about smart contracts, right? I think you guys got a pretty good idea about what a smart contract is. Now, actually, before we jump into this, I'm gonna go back one to this one. I may bring you guys back to me. So one dope thing, I want to talk about Ethereum for 1 second. So people were wondering why Ethereum was established. So Ethereum was established mainly just to run smart contracts. So people always ask me what the big difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is. The big difference is with ETH, you can build dApps on top of them, right? So smart contracts are the thing that allow dApps to work, right? It's just that simple. That's how smart contracts are. That's why ETH is so dope. But the problem we have with ETH now is that they've scaled so much. Like it's just crazy expensive. The gas fees are astronomical to actually make any transaction. That's why I love Cardano so much. That's why people love Polkadot and a billion other projects that are being built on top of different blockchains to kind of combat the ETH's problem, right? So you think about the main things that any blockchain has to counter with. Vitalik Buterin, who's the creator of ETH, calls it the crypto trilemma or blockchain trilemma. And the three main things you're trying to do is be secure and scalable. And what was the last one? Secure and scalable are two of them. And I don't know why it's skipping my brain, man. That's part of the live jitters. But when you think about secure, scalability, and speed, how did I forget speed? When you look at something like Solana, that's something that talks about how many transactions per second that they can do. So they're really focused on speed, but I'm like, can you have all three? That's a trilemma, right? Can I be fast and secure and be able to scale? So that was the main problem with ETH. Like it's secure, it was fast until the network started to get congested and then it clogged up. So it's kind of hard to scale. That's what ETH 2.0 is all about. So just to repeat, since I stumbled at the beginning about the trilemma in blockchain, we're looking for speed, scalability, and security, right? And people say that, can you actually have all three? Most of the projects out there sacrifice one for the other, right? You may can have one but not the other two, or two but not the other one. It's hard to get that speed, scalability, and security in one, right? So back to the topic. That's why ETH was created, to actually allow the use of blockchains. And you see all these crazy dApps or decentralized applications that have came out. Now I think we can jump back over to our slideshow and talk a little bit more about what a dApp is. So let's do a quick definition here. So decentralized applications are digital applications or programs that exist and run on a blockchain or P2P network of computers instead of a single computer and are outside the purview of control of a single authority. That's very interesting to me. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was around like in 1998, like ripping stuff off of Napster and Kazaa and LimeWire and all those other ones, giving my computer just straight up viruses. But those were peer-to-peer networks, and they really couldn't shut those down or regulate them. Streaming came around and actually helped with that, to help make people, to incentivize people away from downloading things. But how powerful was a Napster or a Kazaa? Because it was all peer-to-peer, right? So you guys get confused about what dApps are, but you've all used them before. If you ever used a torrent or used LimeWire, Kazaa or something, you know what a dApp is. It's just a network of computers. They're completely decentralized. They're decentralized because they're not housed on one server, and that gives the control back to the people. Like, they can't be shut down very easily, right? I think I got a quote on the next slide by Vitalik Buterin as well. This is the guy I was talking about before, who's the founder of Ethereum. He made it to start smart contracts, but he has a quote that I want to read off real quick. If you build a dApp on top of fully decentralized serverless infrastructure, then even if the rest of the community around the infrastructure goes away, your dApp can continue to use it. It may be weaker because of a smaller network effect, but it will still work. Guys, I don't know about you, but that just gets me excited. That is insanely powerful. Think about apps like your Facebooks and your Instagrams and your Snapchats and all these other ones. They are centralized. They're controlled by a central authority. You guys have seen Facebook and Instagram go down. That's because those servers are controlled by an authority and not decentralized and spread across the whole globe like all these other dApps are. So if you go back to that quote again, there's no servers here. It's ran off a bunch of nodes around the world, right? So just like he said, if nodes slow down or hash rates start to decrease, it may be a smaller network effect, but it's still going to work, right? It may slow down a bit, but the beautiful thing about blockchain and dApps is that they are built on top of blockchain, which means you get that immutability and everything is recorded, every transaction, right? Super duper secure, super stable, guys. Those are dApps. Super dope. And I want to actually jump in, and I may pull up Cryptokitties here in a second, just so we can talk a little bit about what happened here. So I want to talk about the perfect example, of a actual dApp was the whole Cryptokitties craze. Like, it was insane. I want to say it was around 2017 and 18 when these things dropped off. Like, I may play a quick video from Vox as long as I get my sound and everything working, talking about dApps and how they actually popped off. Like, it was just insane. Let's see what I got going on my screen. Let me just pull it up. I may have to make a quick change on the fly just to get my iPad back up. Let me see what we got here. Let's go here. Cool, now we good. So we're just gonna jump straight in. Let's go ahead and stop the music on this one. Let's drop this quick video real quick. First, we got
the all-electric EQA by Mercedes EQ.
Not monetized yet. Get out of here.
When I show you what I'm holding, some of you might see a simple cartoon. Some of you might see a complex piece of engineering. You'd both be right. Meet Genesis, the first Cryptokittie. She's not alone. All of a sudden, Cryptokitties are everywhere.
Cryptokitties.
Cryptokitties.
The viral blockchain-based game that sparked a global craze for virtual cats.
It's a picture of a cat, and apparently somebody bought one for $100,000.
You've probably heard of cryptocurrencies, but these are crypto collectibles. They're like digital Beanie Babies or baseball cards. It sounds silly, but Cryptokitties is testing a profound idea. Can a digital good be rare? Every 15 minutes, the company Axiom Zen releases a new Cryptokittie that only one person can buy. And they'll do that until November 2018, when they're capping these Generation Zero kitties at 50,000. But there are already more Cryptokitties than that, because unlike baseball cards, you can breed them.
The game is that there are billions of different possible combinations of traits, and so you can decide which combination of traits.
I think you guys get the gist of this. Like, Cryptokitties went crazy, right? That's a perfect example of an actual dApp. Let's jump over to dappradar.com real quick and have a look at some more examples of what dApps are in some of the categories as well. Like I said before, super simple. Think of this like the App Store, but they are decentralized applications that are hosted on the blockchain and powered by smart contracts, right? Just like what I explained before earlier in the video. So let's look at some examples. We talked about NFTs, I think it was yesterday. So here's some quick examples of NFTs here. Remember, non-fungible tokens. And look at the volume that are coming through some of these, like 26.3 million, 23,000 traders, 52,000 sales inside of this. If we jump back and we actually have a look at DeFi, which is one of my favorites here, we can see how much total value locked. So when you look at TVL, that's just the total value that's actually locked in some of these projects, right? So it is insane. So Aave is something that I think I talked about. I did a video the other day about. That's another DeFi play that allows you to take loans against stable coins and things like that. But have a look at this total value locked in. 8.29 billion of assets, or under management, if you will, right? And if you're ever curious, and you can do the little question mark here to kind of figure out exactly what it is. Uniswap, which I've mentioned a couple of times when I was using my examples of doing a sneaker transaction, that also has crazy amount of total value locked. That's over 8 billion as well. And when you adjust for inflation, we got over 10 billion. So you see how powerful these dApps are, right? Or decentralized applications. We can go over to games and see some examples here as well. We got Axie Infinity, which is a popular one. Upland, Alien Worlds, Our Planet. I'm surprised Decentraland didn't pop up here. So here's a super cool thing about games that are built on a blockchain. When you have cryptocurrencies involved, there's a game called Decentraland where you can actually buy real land inside of the game, right? So the super cool thing about this, I seen a guy buy like just one F1 track and he gets royalties every time somebody hits this track, right? And it's one of the most powerful games. Imagine like owning royalties at like one of the courts on NBA 2K or one of the GTA 5 courses, one of the GTA 5 levels, owning that. And every time somebody played that level, you would get paid. Yo, that is the power of dApps, right? And they can be games, they can be NFTs, they can be decentralized finance. You even got gambling up in here as well. Like, I've never looked at somebody's gambling, but they have crypto casinos. Actually, one of my friends, shout out to Brian, told me about crypto casino. Like, he just loves gambling, but I like hodling all my money, so I may not jump in on something like that. But it's just crazy examples in here. And then one of the most popular ones is just simple exchanges, right? So the power of dApps and those smart contracts, remember those if this, then that code built on top of the blockchain, is that we can have decentralized exchanges, right? And before we talked about all the different blockchain projects, so when you look at Uniswap, that is Ethereum or ETH's DEX or decentralized exchange. And you see how much volume is coming through this thing. Like, it's insane. You got QuickSwap that's on Polygon. You got an MDEX. You got JustSwap on Tron. I'm super excited about Sunday Swap. There's going to actually be one of the DEXs for Cardano. You know, I couldn't get away without putting out like a quick Cardano plug. But guys, that's just some examples of DEXs, right? It's just insane the amount of things that you can see and do on here with this going. So I hope you guys understand the power of smart contracts and dApps. So without smart contracts, dApps can run. dApps are just simply decentralized applications that are a lot more stable because they're spread across a bunch of nodes or computers, if you will. That's all it is, guys. So that was our topics for today. We're going to get over to the news in 1 second. But before we do, let me remind you guys to go ahead and like or karate chop that like button and subscribe to the channel if you dig it for that YouTube algorithm and my poor little ego. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and roll over to the next thing, and we're about to go ahead and jump in to the news of the day. And let's go. Let's get in here. Let's get rid of that, and let's talk about these news stories that we have in here. Let me go ahead and zoom back out for you guys. I'm gonna set up a smart action on top of my stream deck where it automatically zooms out, because that's something that drives me crazy. So what that title says is a mass internet outage shows why deeper decentralization of Web 3.0 is important, right? So if you look at this, a number of websites, including, let me pull that back up again, come back up, come on, you can do it, come on, you can do it, annoying. So a series of websites, including the White House, Gov UK, Spotify, and Reddit, went down last Tuesday morning following a massive outage at Fastly, which is just a CDN or content delivery network, guys. So remember what I said before about dApps being decentralized and having that power to where we don't have to worry about them actually going down and crashing like that? That's the power of smart contracts and dApps. Like it tells you right here how Internet 3.0 is trying to change that. Like it says Fastly servers handle 10% of the internet, guys. Like that is insane. Now with all of the Bitcoin miners moving out of China, there's nowhere that holds that much of any cryptocurrency, right? So in China, a lot of the hash rate or miners, I want to say around 60% were located in China. So now with the ban, they've moved out. Like I said it on the video the other day, I love that because that makes it just so much better because it's even more decentralized for everybody. And if you want to look at this article, I'll put the link in the description, but it's just talking about how important it is and how blockchain projects help to decentralize the internet. I think if you guys go back to the beginning of this video or on the timestamp when I talk about dApps and what they are, you'll see exactly how they help decentralize the internet and why that's super important, not for it to be controlled by a few servers, right? Because if they go down, we're all effed. Let's jump to the next little news story here. Crypto whales. Let's go back down. Boy, this Zoom future be killing you, boy, when I want to just get in the flow. Crypto whales accumulated, I mean, I can't even, is that 2.2 billion with a B in Bitcoin this week, says on-chain analyst, right? This is crazy. If you notice, if I look down here at my little screen, Bitcoin's trading at 33,826 right now. ETH's at 2,110 and 40 cents. Bitcoin hasn't been doing anything crazy. I want to say this week it's been rocking since I've been recording. Every day I'll see it going anywhere between 31 to 34-ish. So it hasn't been going crazy. There's been no really breaking news. There's a lot of FUD coming out like usual, talking about Bitcoin and how it's going to crash and yada, yada, yada. But these whales are still accumulating Bitcoin, right? And this is on-chain analysis here. So let's kind of go through some of this and I'll tell you what this chart means. So this chart in orange just says the net growth of entities. Man, I love live videos of entities. This is the actual net growth of happening. Now look at this little chart here. Look at how it's going parabolic after COVID. Like these are the people that are actually holding Bitcoin. And then the little gray line here is just the price in USD of what Bitcoin is, right? So as you can see, man, retail's been buying heavily for weeks now, but we finally get the uptick in whales that we were waiting for. 17 new whales blocked on the birth chain just this past week. So a lot of times, guys, when you see these FUD or hit pieces coming out on Bitcoin, that's just institutional investors or other people trying to get you to actually sell your Bitcoin so they can snatch up more because they know this is a great time to buy when there is fear in the market, right? Then they got some technical analysis here talking about Bollinger Bands and how coins were moved onto exchanges or pulled off exchanges and showing how the first buy signal just came up. Like, I'll be honest, like I love using technical analysis for stocks. I will from time to time talk about technical analysis on cryptocurrencies as well. But the market is just so volatile and people move. It's not enough actual money in the market, even though it is a lot, to make it be stable enough for me to really care too much about deep technical analysis. I'll tell you what type of technical analysis that I do care about though. I care about price action, I care about support and resistance. If I look at support and resistance and price action and look and find what the bag holders are, I can probably gauge what their move, what they're gonna do when the price of whatever asset goes up or down. That's all I care about. Support, resistance, price action, or volume. That's all I really care about. And on-chain for me is more important. So when I see something like this, knowing that whales are stocking up, they got access to more information than we do. But we can sit here and look at the charts. We know that it's nothing crazy. We hadn't dropped below that 30 and held. We hadn't really broke and held above 35, 36. So there's no bad news or good news. We're just kind of trading sideways. But now is a good time to be stacking your sats, baby. All right, let's check out our last little bit of news. This is another interesting piece here about Visa and 50 crypto platforms to enable cryptocurrency payments at 70 million merchants. And look at this little note here. $1 billion in crypto card transactions and partnerships have came across, which is crazy, right? They're just saying that with Visa cards, people have bought over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. That can be on a Coinbase, on FTX, on wherever. It's just showing the power of it. So, of course, Visa don't want to get left out in doing this. So what they're saying now, we're doing a lot to create an ecosystem that makes cryptocurrency more usable and more like any other currency. People are exploring ways in which they can use cryptocurrency for things they would normally use currencies for. And this is just when it gets super interesting, right? Like, merchants aren't going to have to change everything. It's going to be just like a normal Visa transaction, but they hadn't explained exactly how they're going to do it. But I got a feeling it's going to be tied into your Visa app where you can tie your hardware wallet to it and jump in and actually exchange your Bitcoin or crypto into fiat, right? Or making it, if you buy something for $50, it's taken out of your wallet. So it's super interesting. I'm sure more news will come out how they're going to do it. But I report a news piece like this every night that shows how crypto is coming to the mainstream. This is just another story. Visa is crazy powerful. People still hadn't caught up with them. They have the fastest TPS or transactions per second out there in the game. There's a bunch of projects trying to catch up with that. But right now, Visa is the king of the castle, guys. It's crazy. So let's just go ahead. We're going to jump in and we're going to do a very quick recap for those of you guys who turned up late to the party of what we talked about in the video. So we simply just jumped in and talked about the origins of smart contracts, what they actually are, and showed an example of two Chads buying sneakers from each other and how they could do that on the blockchain instead of using something like Gold or StockX. We talked about what dApps or decentralized applications are. We went over to Dapp Radar to show you some examples of dApps. We watched a video about Cryptokitties to talk about that. That's one of the first dApps that exploded on Ethereum. We talked a little bit about Ethereum and why it was built and how it was built to actually help run smart contracts as well. So we had a lot of stuff that we jumped in and talked about, guys. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out and watching this video. Hopefully it was useful. If it was, guys, go ahead and drop in the comment section and let me know what you learned from the video. I'm always open for suggestions as well. So feel free to go ahead and come in, drop a comment, let me know what you want to see from me. I have a whole slate and plan of videos that I will be releasing soon, hopefully answering all those questions that you have about crypto, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and do like a little 1 minute and 30-second outro and vibe up out of here just to keep your energy up as I sign off. So feel free to hang out and vibe out with me. But if you don't, thanks for watching the video. This is your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter, Michael T. Ragland, signing off once again. I love you guys, man. Peace out. Stay blessed.